What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel tonight, Wednesday, October 4th, 2017. This is your official NXT review and results for tonight's show, in which we seen Drew McIntyre defend the NXT World Heavyweight Championship against Roderick Strong in a fantastic main event. The debut of LIO Rush against Aleister Black, and then Ruby Riot continuing her feud with the iconic duo of Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. But that is not what I'm going to start this NXT review off with, man. There was major news coming out of the NXT tapings tonight from Full Sail University down in Orlando, Florida. One of them being Triple H, for the first time ever, was not in attendance for the NXT tapings. He left Shawn Michaels, who I don't mind, in charge. But he also left Road Dogg in charge of the NXT tapings tonight. My God! My God. I am pretty sure that Triple H gave him strict directive as to what to do. I'm sure Road Dogg didn't have any say in the creative direction of this show. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried whatsoever. But the one thing I want to throw out there as a little jab to the Road Dogg, maybe being there and being in and around NXT and being in that environment and being a part of what is seemingly, I'm guessing, 4 hours of tapings, because they taped everything up until NXT TakeOver Houston Survivor Series weekend. I'm hoping that Road Dogg is taking it all in. I'm hoping that he's learning a lesson. I'm hoping that he's seeing what needs to be done so that he takes some of that and takes it back to SmackDown Live and applies it after seeing what NXT is doing. Now he knows how a real wrestling show is supposed to be booked. A man can dream. A man can dream. Will that happen on Tuesday night? Probably not. Will that happen at Hell in a Cell? Probably not. But a man could dream. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. If I want to go to bed tonight hoping that Road Dogg learned a lesson tonight from the NXT tapings, then I'll go to bed dreaming of Road Dogg learning a lesson at the NXT tapings. But I know what we're going to get at Hell in a Cell. I know what we're going to get going on into SmackDown Live. Garbage. Garbage. But a man could dream. A man could dream. The other big news, and this is what I really want to talk about, the other big piece of information, we're going to just dive into it just a little bit here. We'll talk about it on Off the Script this weekend. Everybody has been asking WWE to bring back old WCW pay-per-views. War Games being the #1 pay-per-view that people want to see resurrected from the old WCW back catalog. Now, if you're asking me personally, War Games is not my #1. War Games is not my #1. In fact, Halloween Havoc is my #1. I would much rather see a Halloween Havoc than a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, which we have to be just, I guess, mature to the idea that we're getting a Hell in a Cell match every year. Oh, the month of October is coming around. Here we go. It's time for Hell in a Cell. I'm sorry. Things don't work that way in my mind, bro. Things don't work that way in my mind. When I come to October, I want to see Halloween. I want to see scarecrows. I want to see pumpkins. I want to see darkness and evil. I don't want to see Hell in a Cell every October. Hell in a Cell has been ruined because WWE has opted to make it a B-level pay-per-view. WWE has opted to make it a brand-exclusive pay-per-view, whether it's for Raw one year or SmackDown the other. WWE has pretty much ingrained it in our minds that every October we see a Hell in a Cell match. Now, what they don't understand is that if it went away, the announcement of said Hell in a Cell match would be a little bit more important. It would be a little bit more exciting. But the fact that people know to expect Hell in a Cell every October, it takes away from the overall match. Also, on top of that, WWE the last couple of years have not been giving 1 Hell in a Cell, have not been giving 2 Hell in a Cells. They've been giving 3 Hell in a Cells, because for whatever fucking reason, this company thinks that the best things come in threes. That's why they have 3-man commentary teams. I'm watching NXT tonight, and I'm still wondering what Percy Watson is doing on the NXT announce team. Beats me. It's one of those unsolved mysteries that I will never figure out. The guy adds 0 to an announce team. You could put a fucking cardboard cutout of Percy Watson there, and it would make absolutely no difference. No difference. You could put Mitch, the potted plant, in his place, and it would make no fucking difference. In fact, Mitch, the potted plant, probably has more charisma and personality than Percy Watson. You could put my iPhone on the chair that Percy Watson is sitting in, and it would have more personality than Percy Watson. You get my point. The guy's trash. The guy's trash. But the fact that WWE doesn't realize that they have done a long-standing damaging effect to Hell in a Cell by featuring it every year and featuring it multiple times. I would much rather see Halloween Havoc come back into the WWE pay-per-view calendar. On top of that, why don't you give me King of the Ring too? You know? Give me King of the Ring. While you're at it, on top of those 2 requests, why don't you give me Bash the Beach? You know? Something along those lines. Not difficult. I know you got it within you to do it. That's what I do. In fact, that's what I'm going to do with WWE 2K18 when I do my Universe mode. You guys are going to see how the pay-per-view calendar will look in my Universe mode this year. But getting off track here, WWE has announced, and I'm not surprised that Triple H is doing this. What was the rumor going around? What was the rumor going around that WWE didn't want to bring back War Games because there wasn't an arena in the United States big enough to fit the 2 rings and the 2 cages in the building? But wasn't that the case that we heard from Vince McMahon? Wasn't that the excuse that we heard from Vince McMahon? What? The cage wasn't made of wood, right? So we couldn't put a cage match. We couldn't put a double cage match in the arena, right? If it was a double cage, well, we got Punjabi Prison, right? The Punjabi Prison match is the largest cage that WWE has constructed in their warehouse. But we can do that, though, right? We can do that, though, but we can't do War Games. So, Triple H, again, doing what every wrestling fan wants with NXT, and they're giving us War Games during Survivor Series weekend. Wouldn't this make more sense for WWE, for Raw and SmackDown to do that? You know, wouldn't that be the most ideal scenario if WWE had any type of turmoil, any type of dilemma, any type of conflict between Raw and SmackDown? I mean, the reason for the brand split was because we had Raw and we had SmackDown, and both feuds, or both brands rather, were going to feud with one another. Wouldn't that make perfect sense to have a War Games match between Raw and SmackDown Live? I don't know. Maybe I'm a fucking idiot, and I am just remembering what Vince McMahon said in the ring when the brand split was about to take place and before the draft. Maybe I'm an idiot for remembering what WWE initially and originally wanted with the brand split. Now that we're here a year and a half later, nobody seems to care. It's as if there's no brand split and we're just going through the motions. I feel within the next year that there is not going to be any more brand split, and that we're going to get one big roster all over again. And more people are going to get lost in the shuffle. But, what do you know? Triple H is giving us War Games for NXT TakeOver Houston, which would make a perfect Survivor Series theme, but Vince McMahon doesn't want to do it, so leave it to Triple H to say, you know what, Vince, you fucked up, and now I'm going to take the idea, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to do it better than you could ever conceive. So we are getting War Games for NXT TakeOver Houston, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Now, what we got here for War Games is at the Thursday night NXT tapings. I don't want to go into any spoilers besides this, okay? So if you guys don't want to hear what I have to say, you can click off the video or fast forward about 45 seconds. NXT tapings, Roderick Strong was given an armband by the Undisputed, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly, and he had to ponder whether or not to join the group. Later on, Strong came back out and teased joining the group, but then ultimately attacked all 3 men. Sanity, who finished wrestling the Authors of Pain, also fought off the Undisputed Era alongside Roderick Strong. The Undisputed Era and Sanity versus Roderick Strong and the Authors of Pain in a 2-ring War Games match was announced for NXT TakeOver War Games. The War Games match has never been done before on WWE programming. The War Games concept came from Dusty Rhodes in the 1980s, so this is clearly a nod from Triple H. So WWE doing War Games. WWE a week later is doing Starrcade, which is not going to be televised on the WWE Network, so I quite frankly don't give a fuck about that. But it's funny how we heard for years that WWE didn't have an arena in the United States to do the two-ring War Games concept. And here we are, Triple H is bringing it back for NXT, when it would probably make more sense for WWE to do it for Survivor Series, now that The Shield has been rumored to be reforming and reuniting on WWE television. Boy, how the WWE has seemingly dropped the ball in everything that they do when it comes to Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. Triple H and NXT are making it very difficult, not only to watch the main roster, but it's becoming increasingly difficult to even care about what Raw and SmackDown is doing when Triple H and NXT is just listening to the fans, doing what the fans want, listening to the pulse and the heartbeat of the fans, booking the show as if he was me. Booking the show as if he was you. You know, Triple H gets all this flack about burying talent and not caring and all this other shit. Clearly, something is going on behind the scenes in NXT that makes sense. I don't give a shit what they're saying about Triple H. Things are being done right in NXT. If I was to have a perfect promotion, it's NXT. At this point, it doesn't even feel like a WWE promotion. It doesn't. It doesn't even feel like a WWE production. It doesn't. And I think that's a good thing. But WWE needs to know that this yellow and black brand that has these three letters of NXT are under the WWE banner. If people on Raw and SmackDown do not start paying attention to NXT, you know, you're doing yourself a major, major disservice. Because they're doing it right. They're doing it right. It's okay every now and then to swallow that bitter pill and admit to yourself, shit isn't working right now on Monday Night Raw, but shit's working on NXT. Why don't you take the ideologies and why don't you take the shit that they're doing on NXT and apply some of that to the main roster? I think both shows would be better off, to be honest with you. Just my 2 cents. War Games is coming back, and you know what? I'm fucking excited, man. I can't wait. Now, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly. Yes, on one hand, fantastic. The Undisputed's there. Sanity. Yes, we got Sanity there. Fantastic. Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong is the other team in this War Games match. Now, I don't know how that's going to come about. I don't know how the Authors of Pain are going to be just kind of thrust into this thing. I understand they're going for the tag team titles, but to align the Authors of Pain, who seemingly have destroyed everybody and have no friends whatsoever, they're going to be teaming with Roderick Strong. Now, I wouldn't have done that at all. You know, at this point, I thought the Authors of Pain would have been moved up to SmackDown Live or Monday Night Raw. I would have easily done, yes, Sanity, yes, Undisputed. I would have put Wolfgang, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate in this match. Imagine that War Games match, where the UK guys and Sanity and the Undisputed are going all at it in a 2-ring War Games match for NXT TakeOver War Games. That would have been the way I would have did it. To not feature the UK guys in this instance, that's a mistake by WWE. Unless they have other plans for them, which right now I'm not going to go into. I'm not going to read the spoilers. I'm not going to read the results from the tapings. Maybe they got something else planned. I don't know. I don't know. But also, tonight, we did hear from Zelina Vega. We did hear from Zelina Vega on NXT. She did mention that her ultimate goal with Andrade Cien Almas is to take him to the NXT Championship. Now, with Adam Cole not in the main event here, I'm assuming this is going to be the main event. There's no way that this cannot be the main event. But with Adam Cole not in the NXT Championship match right now, who does that leave for Drew McIntyre? Now, I did not read the spoilers yet. I can assume and I might be wrong here, but I can assume that with Drew McIntyre tonight retaining the title against Roderick Strong, and Zelina Vega pretty much proclaiming that Andrade Cien Almas, who is probably the best wrestler that they got down there in the ring, rope to rope, buckle to buckle, bell to bell, maybe Andrade is finally going to get an NXT Championship match against Drew McIntyre, you know? Being that we have a main event here with this War Games match, to have an undercard match with that being the NXT Championship match, I wouldn't mind that at all, man. Now, to me, right now, the way they've built Andrade has been great, but is he a talent right now that's going to say, you know what, close the show with me? Is Andrade Cien Almas an act in NXT? Built up enough to be one of those guys that can close a show? I don't think so. So, if they make that the match, they're probably going to go the same route that they did with Hideo Itami and Bobby Roode at the last TakeOver show. And we seen the 3-team ladder match there with the Authors of Pain. We seen DIY, and we seen, who was the other team? The Revival, right? So, that was that. I think that's the way that they're going to go with that. So, we'll see what happens, and I'm very excited about NXT, man. NXT, right now, is fucking blowing everybody out of the water. And I can't wait to see what they do, and I can't wait to see how they make up this entire build for NXT TakeOver Houston, a.k.a. NXT TakeOver War Games. So I'm very excited about this, man. NXT tonight from Full Sail University. We had a big night tonight. Ruby Riot versus Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. I got confused here a little bit, man. I know last week they had a match with Ruby Riot against Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, but it was supposed to be a tag team match. And William Regal pretty much forbid Ruby Riot to go against the Iconic Duo 2-on-1, that he wouldn't allow it. So, out of nowhere, Nikki Cross came and teamed with Ruby Riot late in that match last week, and Ruby Riot and Nikki Cross beat Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. This week, I don't know what was going on here. I don't know if they did the same thing again here, but Nikki Cross was supposed to be Ruby's partner here, but had opted not to show up. So, it was a tag team match last week, and Ruby Riot couldn't find the partner. Nikki Cross said, you know what, I'm going to be your partner tonight. Tonight, we got a tag team match that was supposed to be Ruby Riot and Nikki Cross, but Nikki Cross somehow didn't show up. She was a part of the match, but said, all right, fuck this, I don't want to be a part of it, then showed up whenever she wanted. But in the end here, Ruby came back with a missile dropkick after being beaten down from Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, and that was followed by a Pele kick to end Billie Kay at 7 minutes and 3 seconds. Ruby Riot beat Nikki Cross, or Ruby Riot and Nikki Cross beat Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. I can see Ruby Riot versus Nikki Cross at NXT TakeOver Houston for whatever feud they got going on. But if I'm WWE and I am NXT, I would definitely put Nikki Cross in that fatal 4-way for the Women's Championship. I just think she's deserving. I love Nikki Cross. In fact, I would do Nikki Cross. We have Kaori-San already in there. We talked about this on the live stream tonight. I would do Nikki Cross. I would do Kaori-San. I would do Ember Moon. And then I would put somebody as a big surprise. You know, somebody that we've never seen before. So we'll see what happens with that. One thing about Peyton Royce, she needs to go back to the Poison Ivy look that she had. I'm not digging her ring attire, even though she's quite pleasant to look at. I'm just not really keen on her choice of attire. I think she looked a lot better in the Poison Ivy-esque wrestling attire that she had just a couple of weeks ago. So Ruby Riot and Nikki Cross beat Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. Lars Sullivan, after destroying Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch came to make the save last week. Sullivan says that everyone should be afraid and warns Danny Burch to not face him next week. I can't wait to see what Lars Sullivan does to Danny Burch, man. Going to be very interesting to see for sure. Zelina Vega, like I said, she said that she's not worried about Johnny Gargano getting a rematch with Andrade Cien Almas. Gargano's lifeline is dead. So, we got Gargano and Almas next week on NXT. Can't wait to see that. Lio Rush making his WWE debut. First time we've seen Lio Rush in NXT. The kid's amazing. He's 22 years old. His theme music was fucking hype. It was fucking great. Lio Rush in NXT, man. It's going to be a perfect fit. He's going to fit like a glove. And what a debut it was going to be, man, against Aleister Black. And we got a disappointment, man. We did not get a Lio Rush debut. We did not get a Lio Rush versus Aleister Black match. Instead, we got the Velveteen Dream coming in from behind, and he drops Rush before Rush even takes off his vest. So, Dream then attacks Lio Rush, leaves him in the middle of the ring, drops a beautiful, perfect purple Rainmaker off the top rope. Damn, man, Velveteen Dream's got a beautiful fucking elbow drop, man. So, Dream starts screaming, Aleister Black, what's my name? Hey, Aleister, what's my name? Acknowledge me. We got Velveteen Dream crawling and slithering in the ring. Aleister Black walks down the aisle. He walks around the ring. He springboards over the top and sits Indian style in the ring. He don't even look at the Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream is yelling at Aleister. Hey, Aleister, what's my name? Acknowledge me. I'm going to get you to say my name. I'm going to get you to say my name. So, no match, which is very disappointing. I wanted to see Lio Rush in a WWE ring perform, but we will see him sooner rather than later. Lio Rush and Aleister Black went to a no contest that didn't even start. We got the Velveteen Dream pretty much just ruining all that and going after Aleister Black once again, man. Aleister Black is making a name for himself just by what he's doing. We know that, but the one thing we know here, and the one thing I want you guys to be aware of, is that the Velveteen Dream is making a name for himself here in this feud. And this is going to be great, man. If there's something that I'm looking forward to outside of everything that's been announced for TakeOver Houston already, or TakeOver War Games, Aleister Black versus the Velveteen Dream is going to be something that they're building nice and slow. We got another couple of weeks to go before we even get to the Survivor Series weekend. But that is one match I am going to be highly, highly intrigued by. I can't wait to see what they do, man. We got Aleister Black fucking on fire in NXT, but it's also nice to see that the Velveteen Dream is, you know, right there in making a name for himself in NXT, and he's doing very damn good. He's doing a very damn good job about it so far, and I can't wait to see what they do at TakeOver War Games. Kaori-San versus Aaliyah. Kaori-San making her NXT debut. This is not her WWE debut. Obviously, Kaori-San won the Mae Young Classic. She went one-on-one with Aaliyah, who I think is very good, man. I think Aaliyah right now is just in the wrong place at the wrong time. She's there to get others over, but she can do very well on her own, man. Kaori-San wins with the top rope elbow drop. Nothing out of the ordinary here, man. Kaori-San delivered all her big spots. The spear. She did that running forearm into the corner. She did that diving elbow drop off the top rope. That was picture perfect. 1, 2, 3. Kaori-San beat Aaliyah Kaori-San beat Aaliyah with the top rope elbow drop. I was looking at my next note here. Liv Morgan versus Peyton Royce versus Nikki Cross. That is going to be a triple threat match, and the winner of that match will get a spot in the Fatal 4-Way at NXT TakeOver War Games. Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano will take place next week on NXT. NXT title match, man. This was an absolute fucking barn burner, man. These guys beat the shit out of one another, man. You want to talk about hard hitting, you go back and watch this match. Drew McIntyre is the personification of a fucking beast. Drew McIntyre is sitting at 254 pounds. Roderick Strong is in at 200 pounds, man. Drew McIntyre's got a good 50-plus pounds on him. And Roderick Strong stood toe-to-toe with Drew McIntyre like nothing, man. Went one-on-one with the champion, and there was no weight discrepancy. There was no height discrepancy. There was no power discrepancy whatsoever, man. Roderick Strong looked like a legit contender in this match. It was one of those matches where he's giving away so much, but looked so good in defeat. And you can't take that away from Roderick Strong, man. There was one point in this match where Roderick Strong just threw Drew McIntyre on top of the steel steps in a backbreaker position. Unbelievable spot. Had the whole crowd chanting, holy shit. There was another portion of this match where Drew McIntyre threw Roderick Strong powerbomb first into the steel post. That was unbelievably sickening. We got a Celtic cross, or a white noise rather, off the top rope by Drew McIntyre here for a near fall. At the end of this thing, we had Drew McIntyre just take 3 jumping knees to the face. That was followed up by a sick kick. Now, Mauro Ranallo sold this perfectly, man, on commentary. He's like, we haven't seen the sick kick in a very long time by Roderick Strong, and he broke it out tonight to try and put away Drew McIntyre. Near fall, 2 count only. They head outside, Hurricane Rana off the apron. He got caught, like I said. Drew McIntyre power-bombed Roderick Strong into the ring post. Strong is done. After that, Future Shock DDT, followed by the Claymore. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre beats Roderick Strong in 24 minutes to retain the NXT Championship. They both shake hands in the end. Roderick Strong clearly mouthed it off. This is not over. And Drew McIntyre said, yes, it is not over. And it looked like they want to go again at a future date. After Roderick Strong leaves the ring, he's walking up the ramp. O'Reilly, Fish, and Cole come out of nowhere in sweats. They approach Roderick Strong and they pat him on the back. And they're pointing to him. Join Undisputed. Roderick Strong looks back at the ring. Drew McIntyre holding up the title, shaking his head in displeasure. He is displeased with Roderick Strong even contemplating or thinking about the idea of joining Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly in the Undisputed after the match that he had with Roderick Strong. So we don't know what's going on there, but Strong did look confused. Strong did look confused, and obviously after what I spoke about with War Games, we know that Roderick Strong, as of right now, going into War Games, at least for now, is not joining the Undisputed. But this was a very good edition of NXT, and if you guys have, you know, some free time, I urge you to go back and watch the Roderick Strong versus Drew McIntyre match, man. Definitely one of the best main events on NXT television all year. And I mentioned it in the Twitch live stream, man. There's a reason why the NXT Championship is positioned higher right now than any championship in the WWE. That's over Brock Lesnar, and that's over Jinder Mahal. And one of those reasons is not because of the guy that's holding the title. Drew McIntyre is a legit champion, okay? Brock Lesnar, to me right now, is just fucking running the well dry. I don't really feel the same at all about Brock Lesnar. In fact, I think Brock Lesnar should do WWE a favor and drop the title to literally anybody right now, because the title on his shoulder, around his waist, is doing him no good, and he's doing the title no good. Brock Lesnar and what he's just showcased this year, it's nothing, man. I'm over it. 5-minute matches is not going to make Brock Lesnar, okay? When I know the guy is capable of so much more. Regardless of him being a beast, and he should be beating guys like that. It's not what I want to see, man. I don't want to see guys like Braun Strowman being dropped with one F5. You know? You're going to have to take a little bit more out of Brock Lesnar to put down a Braun Strowman. Same thing with Samoa Joe, you know? And what do you think he's going to do to Finn Balor when he fights Finn Balor at the Royal Rumble? If he beat Joe in 7 minutes, if he beat Strowman in 5 minutes, how long do you think it's going to take him to beat Finn Balor at the Royal Rumble? 60 seconds? Come on, bro. Give me a break. No demon on this earth, no demon in the underworld is going to beat Brock Lesnar. At all. Or even come close to standing 7 minutes to Brock Lesnar, the way he already took care of Strowman and Samoa Joe. So the NXT title, to me, is positioned as more important. And the one thing I mentioned in the Twitch live stream tonight, you know, we don't see Universal Championship matches on Monday Night Raw. We deserve to. We don't see WWE Championship matches on SmackDown Live. We deserve to. They're champions. I would love to see, once in a while, those championships defended on Monday and Tuesday night. We see the championship being defended every now and then on NXT. It's not out of the ordinary. It makes the title seem that much more relevant when I see a guy like Drew McIntyre defending it against Roderick Strong. You know? It needs to be done. Those are my thoughts on that. If you guys have anything to add, the comment section is yours. Thank you guys so much for everything. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up, and I will see you guys tomorrow, I'm sure, with something, man. I should have an off-the-script extra at some point tomorrow, and then we got off-the-script episode 190 on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Our Hell in a Cell weekend is here, man. Thank you guys so much. Hit that thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below and turn on that bell for all notifications. And if you guys missed my live stream on YouTube earlier, The Walking Dead Season 1, Episode 3 is live right now on the channel, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Off the Script Extra, and I will see you all on Friday for Off the Script Episode 190. I'm JD. Have a great Wednesday night, and I'll see you tomorrow for Off the Script Extra. I'll talk to you later.